Emotional intelligence is a set of skills and behaviours that anybody can develop, and it's around how we interact with other people. Essentially, they're skills like how we express ourselves, how we can build and maintain productive relationships, how we cope with challenge or deal with stress, how we can cope with change. There is a clear link between high levels of emotional intelligence and success at work, and some of the research that sits behind the diagnostic that I use demonstrates that emotional intelligence can be a predictor of success in the workplace, more so than normal cognitive intelligence that would be measured through an IQ test, for example. The people that have strong emotional intelligence are the ones that have those positive relationships. We've all come across people in life who just seem to click with others, and in a team leader, for example, or a people manager, their team seem to just, they'll follow them to the ends of the earth. Those are the people with the high emotional intelligence, because they make those relationships, they have that click with people. We can measure emotional intelligence kind of anecdotally. You can see those that have it, you can see those that don't, but there is a formal way of doing it using the EQI diagnostic. If you wanted to do an assessment, you would find an approved, accredited provider of the test who gives you access to do the test online. Then they give you feedback on the information that test reveals. It gives you lots of information, so the approved providers are trained in giving you that feedback in such a way that it is useful for you, such that you can then go on and develop the areas that you'd like to. There are 15 scalars within the diagnostic, within the measure, that look at a variety of things. For example, one of them, which I find particularly interesting, is our impulse control. And some people are very good at delayed gratification, and they will stay home at night and they will study and they will work hard so they pass their exams so that they can move on. Other people just want all the fun now, and study goes out the window and exam results are poor and they don't succeed. And there is, something around that links into work as well. How do we behave in work? Are we able to control our emotions and our impulses at work so that we don't snap at the customers on the phone? Or which way do we go? So there is, I quite like the impulse control one, because you can see how that links into lots of different situations within the workplace. Reality testing is another one. How conscious are we of what is going on around us? And do we have a realistic view of our world and what's possible and what's not possible? Again, they're things that just kick into how we behave within the workplace. Another one is around optimism, because those who are more optimistic in the workplace tend to be more successful. And this is where you start then to see links between the different factors, because somebody could have really high optimism and very low reality testing, and so they're forever jumping into projects that are never going to work because they've got that high optimism and they think it's going to be brilliant, but their view of the world really isn't very accurate. So that's why it's good to look at the diagnostic in full with somebody that knows what they're talking about and who can highlight how these things work together. It's great to have optimism, but you need good reality testing as well to see whether your ideas are going to work or whether they're going to fall at the first hurdle. Having completed the test, had your feedback results, an individual could then highlight areas where they'd like to improve, where they'd like to develop. It could be that certain of the scales are perhaps impacting on their work, on their success within business. So those can be developed. And there's a number of ways of doing that. You could either do it through one-to-one coaching, working with somebody that's done the test with you and giving you the feedback, a qualified coach helping you to change those behaviours. Because ultimately, it is a set of skills and behaviours. They can be developed, but it's like changing any behaviours. It takes time. There's old habits to be broken. There's new habits to be learned. So one-to-one coaching works well in terms of that. Equally, you can go on workshops to develop them, so with a number of other people who are looking to build emotional intelligence in the same areas as you. Emotional intelligence is useful for everybody that deals with other people, but to try and define it down a bit, I particularly would recommend it for team leaders, people managers, middle managers, anybody that's managing staff at any level, because the whole role of being a people manager is to get stuff done through people. Having said that, it's really useful in terms of people working in sales, people working with customer service, whose predominant role is about dealing with people. The benefits of developing emotional intelligence can fall under a number of headings. I think one of the key ones is that as people develop their emotional intelligence, they can be seen to be expressing themselves more effectively, which means that communication with colleagues, peers, staff, customers improves. As we all know, effective communication is vital in any business. So one of the benefits of developing emotional intelligence is that we begin to see those shifts in how people express themselves and how they communicate with others. I think one of the other strong areas of developing emotional intelligence is how individuals cope with changes in the organisation, how they deal with stress and challenges in their work life. And again, there is lots of change in organisations at the moment, just in the world anyway. So anything that we can do to equip people to deal with that better, to get through that, to come out thinking of change as a positive and a productive thing in their life, again, has to be useful for organisations. It all kind of taps into the bottom line that we can move forward much quicker and with a lot less pain. Case studies have shown that organisations that focus on emotional intelligence can see business benefits in terms of improved sales, better retention of staff because the staff are working in an environment where relationships are positive, better engagement of individuals within the business, which ultimately all has that positive effect on the bottom line. The diagnostic I use is owned and controlled by Multi Health Systems, who are based in Toronto. And in order to administer the diagnostic and provide feedback on it, I've been trained and licensed by them.